Have you ever stopped and wondered what connects every single living thing on our planet? It's a huge question, right? But the answer is kind of like a secret hiding in plain sight, a fundamental blueprint for life itself. And today, we're going to uncover that secret, the very building blocks of existence. So, really, what is the link? How can something so tiny you need a powerful microscope just to see it have anything in common with the largest animal that has ever lived? It seems impossible, right? But the answer is actually pretty simple, and it's right there in front of us.
Well, it all boils down to one secret, microscopic building block that forms the foundation for every living organism. So let's zoom in and take a closer look.
Okay, let's start at the very, very beginning with the one fundamental unit that makes life, well, alive. And that unit is the cell. Seriously, every single living thing is made of them. You can think of them like these tiny, self-contained engines of existence. They can grow, they can reproduce, use energy, and get rid of waste. They do it all.
So, how does this little engine work? Well, let's start with its outer layer, the cell membrane. You should think of it as the cell's own personal security guard. It protects everything on the inside and has total control over what gets in and what gets out.
Move inside, and you'll find the nucleus. This is the big boss. It's the command center, the brain of the whole operation. It holds all the genetic blueprints and tells the entire cell exactly what to do. And everything inside the cell is just kind of floating around in the cytoplasm. It's this jelly-like substance that gives the cell its shape, and more importantly, it's the arena where all the different parts can move around and do their jobs.
So, okay, all cells have those three basic components. But, life is never that simple. It loves variety. So let's look at two of the most famous types of cells out there, plant and animal cells, to see some of the really key differences.
You can see right away that plant cells come with a few extra features that animal cells just don't have. They have a super rigid outer cell wall for support, these things called chloroplasts to make their own food, and usually one giant vacuole for storage. Yeah, that cell wall is a total game changer. It's this hard outer layer that gives plants all their structure. It's the reason a sunflower can stand up so tall or a tree can reach for the sky. Animal cells, on the other hand, we need to be flexible to move around, so we skip the rigid wall.
And what about those chloroplasts? Oh, these are incredible. They're basically tiny green solar panels that perform photosynthesis. This is that amazing process where plants literally use sunlight to make their own food, which makes them the foundation of pretty much every ecosystem on Earth. No big deal.
Now, cells are incredible on their own, but they are total team players. Their real power is unleashed when they team up to build something much, much bigger than themselves.
Sometimes the simplest explanations are the best. As one student put it, cells join together to make tissue. And that's exactly right. This is the first step up the ladder of complexity, where groups of similar cells band together to do one specific job. And you can see the whole hierarchy, the whole ladder right here. It all starts with cells. Then cells form tissues, like muscle tissue. Tissues then come together to create organs, like the heart. Organs then work together in systems, like your circulatory system. And finally, all those systems come together to create a complete organism, a dog, a tree, or you.
Let's just grab one of those systems to see how it all works in practice. We'll use the body's amazing transportation network, the circulatory system, as our example. This system is a perfect example of teamwork. You've got the heart, which is the tireless pump. Arteries act like superhighways, carrying that oxygen-rich blood away from the heart, while the veins are the return roads, bringing it all back. It's a complex, non-stop delivery service that keeps every single one of your cells alive and kicking. So we've gone from a single cell all the way up to a complex system. But just think, with millions of different organisms out there, how do scientists keep track of them all? They needed a way to organize everything, kind of like a filing system for all of life. And that filing system is called classification. It's simply how scientists group living things together based on their shared traits, like how they get their energy or how many cells they happen to have. The biggest, broadest categories in this massive library of life are called kingdoms. Think of them like the main sections you'd find in a real library, like fiction or science. So let's take a quick look at the 5 major kingdoms. We've got animals, which eat other things for energy. We've got plants, which make their own food. You've got fungi, like mushrooms, which absorb nutrients from their environment. And then you get into the wilder stuff, like protists and the tiny but mighty bacteria in the Monera kingdom. Each one has a completely different strategy for survival.
Another huge question scientists ask is this: how many cells does it have? Is it unicellular, made of just one single cell like a bacterium? Or is it multicellular, with tons of cells working in harmony, like us? Just answering that simple question helps them place any organism on that great tree of life.
So, wow, we've gone from the tiny world inside a single cell all the way up to the vast kingdoms of life. But what's the big takeaway from all of this? Why does it matter? If there's one thing to remember, it's all about teamwork. Life is all about organization. From the tiny parts working inside a cell to the complex organs in a system, every single piece has a very specific job, and they all have to work together to create a healthy, living thing. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. If all life, from the smallest bacteria to the biggest blue whale, is built from the exact same basic blocks, cells with a nucleus, cytoplasm, and a membrane, what is it in that shared blueprint that creates all the incredible, breathtaking diversity we see all around us? It's something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.